And you
in
were
Saskatchewan,
blocking them
in Nova Scotia,
at every turn.
And that's why the reason we have the cleanest
Mr. Harper,
electricity sector in the world and are phasing out coal-fired electricity.
I think what was important for Justin Trudeau, among other things in this debate, was to re-energize his own party and his own base, and to just stop a bit of the bleeding that had been going on and a bit of the naysaying. And I think for people who are looking for something from Justin Trudeau that showed that he's actually in his depth, that a little bit of what they saw in him initially might have been warranted, and that he's got a real chance of challenging the other leaders and maybe becoming Prime Minister, I think he did achieve that tonight. He certainly looked like he belonged up there.
Honestly, Mr. Harper, we really can't afford another 4 years of you.
We have about.
I don't think that Thomas Mulcair hit a home run in this debate. In fact, I think that he really struggled a little bit out of the gate. I do think he found his rhythm a bit, and I think part of what he needed to do was just find his own voice. And I think early on he'd been so coached, and we've seen this on the campaign trail as well a little bit, to be relaxed, to be smiling, to not be the sort of angry Tom that he'd been labeled. I think he was really overdoing it at the start. I think he corrected that a little bit. I also think, just in terms of continuing to reassure people that he's not some sort of radical, that the NDP is a more sort of responsible mainstream party, he certainly did look mainstream, and he certainly looked competent.
We are the first government in history to reduce greenhouse gas emissions while also growing our economy.
That's not
and
true.
how have we done that?
It's always funny to try to assess Mr. Harper in these debates because he's done them often enough and he's kind of always the same in them. He doesn't really let the other leaders get to him too much. I thought early on there was a small danger for him that it looked like Justin Trudeau was getting under his skin very slightly at the beginning, occasionally the other leaders as well, but he really kept that in check, and I don't think anybody really hurt him, and I think that's, that's so much of a key for him, is keeping his composure. The one really surprising part of this debate was the section that was on democratic institutions, which is somewhere you would expect of all the sections the Prime Minister to really get beaten up in. I thought the other leaders really dropped the ball on that one. I mean, they spent half of it debating each other. They really didn't do anything to explain to Canadians why they should particularly care about anything Mr. Harper has done toward democratic institutions. If anything, he came out of it looking better than some of the others, which is kind of shocking.
I don't really think that he's got a good track record on spotting when this country is in a recession.
I think you have to be impressed by Elizabeth May here. I mean, what really struck me was she's sort of an encyclopedia of fact checks, which is, when you consider that, unlike the other leaders, I don't think she's got a big staff prepping her the way they do, certainly not an experienced one the way they do, but she was calling them out on all kinds of little things. She does get a little in the weeds sometimes. I mean, look, she's not suddenly going to wind up, competing for power here, or more than a couple of seats probably, but you couldn't ask her to do much more than she achieved in this debate.